All right, we're back with another week of training. This week's going to be a little bit different because we're on a deload phase and we're going into week of competition. So normally I do these videos, it's going to be the previous week of training, but this week it's going to be the previous week of training and this week up until Wednesday, today, the 20th. So, and there's only one lifting session. I'll probably actually end up doing another one later today or tomorrow morning. And that is just going to be some like light box squats, trap bar jumps, and probably some behind the neck jerks. Nothing too heavy, nothing too strenuous, just to keep myself moving and trying to stay poppy throughout the week as I go into competition on Saturday, the opening competition. But we'll start this video off with, as you see, some wob. I got it fixed, put some new cables on there. It is indestructible now. I say it's indestructible, I'll probably destroy it in a matter of time. So, but I set the bar at 14 because as I talked about in previous videos, if I make 3 in a row, I'll move it up to 14. And I didn't make a single one of those. Probably should have kept it at 13, but that's not a big deal. Like they were pulling pretty close, pretty good, except for a lot of them were more out front than I wanted. But not every training day can be, perfect. And this week has been a lot of ups and downs in practice. And so we got to the field another day with the do some stand throws. And again, how I normally do it, it's like 5 non-reverse stand throws, and then I add 2 like the full reverse stand throw. A couple of these were good. I had a couple out of I think it was 38 with the 16-pound shot, which isn't stellar, but if I can stay at 38 or around there, I'm okay with that. I'm not mad because I'm not regressing or anything. And we have a better session later in the week for the Braemar stone, the stand throw. And then the MSA has been going pretty well. I've noticed that watching my videos compared to other people's videos, I'm not doing them right. But sometimes that's just how it is. But it is working out better. And then some heavyweight, 56-pound heavyweight for distance. This actually was a really good session. The first few, I think the first 3, I didn't do. They weren't amazing. They were all at 34. But I decided to switch my grip up on the handle and started doing it where I grab, not in the middle of the handle, but towards the end of it. I don't know. It was amazing how well it locked in my hook grip. I tried it and I was able to move pretty quick with it and solid, right there. That was 35. Just gripping it from the back. I felt like I was able to have just a little bit looser of a grip to stay a little bit longer and looser. But yeah, so I'm pretty stoked on that. And I found my heavyweight technique, which is just, instead of starting how I do the lightweight for distance, facing sideways to the trig, I just face head on because I was having a lot of issues moving myself around quick enough. And some light hammer. This was actually the best light hammer practice I've probably ever had. Nothing under 125. Everything was 125 to 127. Except for one. I think the first one was at 120 or something, which not mad about because previous years, 122, I think is the best I've ever done. And so we're getting better, and that's what I like to see, progress. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes a couple years for you to see some advancement. And this is my first lifting session of the week, or this end phase, this reload phase. I built these pole blocks and some jerk blocks to go with it to make it taller. They're a little higher than I wanted, but I think I'll come back and make some of that lower block. Those are 12-inch 2x12s, right? And I think I'll make those like 8 inches or something like that, and that'll get it like at knee level or a little bit below maybe. But I'm getting used to them. I do like them. I can go pull a whole lot heavier. But what really feels good are these snatches. Like snatching from these higher blocks, they feel incredible. I'm really excited about these, incorporating these into the training. But so this is just part of my deload, just kind of fooling around the garage, testing out the new blocks, get some movement. Okay, we're back at the field now, and while these throws are happening on in the background, I'm going to talk about my mental game for competition, how I go about visualizing success or even just good throws during a competition. And that all starts like the week before competition, like the week of, right? And how I do it, and there's a lot of ways to do it, and a lot of experts out there have methods about how they would teach mental visualization for sport. And for me, what I do, it's really simple. If it's a field that I've been to before and I know the guys I'm throwing against, it makes it a whole lot easier. So I look at a picture in my mind's eye, the field, what it looks like, the layout, what the trig looks like. Are they wing trigs? Are they square trigs? What the sheaf standards look like? How big is a crowd normally there? And I put all these like inputs in there. Is it a ring handle or a D handle for the weights? And I plug all these things into my mind's eye and create a scene of me accomplishing a big throw, something that I'm really excited about, something that's hitting my goals that I've been working towards. And I do that for all 9 events, and I feel like it helps a whole lot. They've done studies on it, exhaustive studies that explain that if you can see yourself doing it, then you're a way higher likelihood of achieving it. I mean, it's all a little bit of witchcraft, but it's that's how your mind works. If you believe that you can do a thing, you're way more likely to accomplish that task. So that's what I do for mental prep. And yeah, if you want to learn more about it, again, a lot of podcasts, a lot of videos, a lot of books, people have written on this exact thing. It's like visualization for sports. But yeah, I guess that's about it for that. Let's jump back into the throwing. This heavy hammer session here was complete trash. I didn't measure any of them. I just couldn't get it dialed in. But you can't let the little crap practices distract you from your overall bigger objective. Like I know what I'm capable of doing with the heavy hammer, and just because I have a bad practice to where I'm going 20 feet under what I normally can do, like I'm healthy, I'm not injured, everything seems to be going right in other ends of my spectrum of an athlete. Everything's doing okay. So sometimes you just have little hiccups like this, and the goal is to just not let those be the defining factor of your sport ability. All right, now we got the sheaf practice. I probably took 4 pulls with sheaf. I was cold. It was actually, and the next day after this is actually 70 degrees. So it went from 34 to 70 degree change. So I just did a couple tosses, bided my time until the next day where I can actually do some real throwing. But I'm never too concerned about sheaf, about getting a lot of practice in. I have what I have. It's like caber. If you have it, you have it. And if you don't, you don't. So then we go into Two of these stand throws were the best I've ever done. They were over 39. I was pretty excited about that because I've been putting a lot of emphasis on my stones, and so to see my stand throw is coming up is pretty exciting. I wish it would, though. I wish it would translate into my open, but my open stone, you'll see here, I foul every single one of them, and I no matter if I wanted to save them, I couldn't. And part of that could just be I'm trying to spin around and look at the stone as it lands so I can go and mark it. But I get pretty frustrated in this, and I start to doubt myself as a thrower, like why does this keep happening? Do you really not know what's going on? Or, all like that negative talk. But I push through, do my 5 or 6 throws, get discouraged, then I move on to the heavyweight. And this was probably the best heavyweight practice I've ever had. Yeah, and I took maybe 6 throws, and that's normally how I do it for like my last practice before like competition. I'll go through and do 5 throws at most on each event. I did miss out on my hammers because I only had the heavy hammer in the truck at the time, and I wasn't about to only throw that because of the last practice was just too discouraging to do that over again. But I think my best heavyweight, actually about 4 of the tosses were over 35, which I'm really excited about. That doesn't happen very often for me. And so we're building some consistency there, changing up some technique. But then we have the lightweight coming up next, and I was doing something that I recommend no one ever do, and that is the week of competition. Don't change up your technique. Because you watched my previous videos or watched earlier in this video, you see my lightweight. I start sideways to the trig, and I do like a full like 360 around, and then catch that first turn. But this time I decided, what the heck, let's do it like everyone else does. Let's start facing the trig and do that little bit of like a half turn. And it actually, they all went really far. And so am I going to stick with it? Maybe. Am I going to do it in competition? I don't know. That's where the mental game comes in, is like, what do you think you can get away with in competition? Can you start it how you used to do it, or this new way that seems to be working out better, but you've only had one practice on it? And that's something that like you really can't like sit there and think about. It'll happen on the day. But that's pretty much all I have. Again, thanks for watching. God bless.